Hello and welcome back to part 2 of indirect or reported speech lesson. In part 1, we looked at indirect statements and the changes you had to make, things as pronouns, tenses, and time markers. In this part, we're going to look at indirect questions, including polite questions and some specific cases. If you haven't watched part 1 yet, please click on the link that will appear at the upper right of this video. And before we start, don't forget to subscribe to our channel to support our upcoming videos. Thanks in advance. Indirect or reported questions. Part 2. The most common reporting verb for questions is ask. You have a choice to specify the person or not. If you specify the person, do not use to. He asked or he asked me. Not he asked to me. That's wrong. Other than the changes that happen to statements, there's one more thing you must do when you formulate an indirect question. You need to change the question form back into the statement form. For example, he asked me, "When can I call you back?" The indirect one is, he asked me when he could call me back. Not, he asked me when could he call me back. This is called an embedded question where you put the subject pronoun or the noun before the verb. Another example, they asked us, "Where will you be?" The indirect question is, they asked us where we would be. Not, they asked us where would we be. That's wrong. Now, be careful with yes and no questions. When you have a yes and no closed question, you need to connect the two parts, the reporting verb and the reported question, with the word if. Let's have an example. We asked Andrew, "Have you bought a new game?" The reported question is, we asked Andrew if he had bought a new game. One more example. They asked us, "Are you French?" The reported question, they asked us if we were French. Alright, let's look at some polite questions. We sometimes ask an indirect question to be more polite or formal. We formulate these questions with expressions such as, "Could you tell me?" "Would you mind telling me?" "May I ask?" "I was wondering." For example, the direct question is, "Where did you go?" The indirect or more polite question is, "Could you tell me where you went?" Another example. Direct question is, "How old are you?" The indirect or more polite question is, "May I ask how old you are?" One more example. Direct question is, "How much did you pay?" The indirect or more polite statement is, "I was wondering how much you had paid." Note that with "I was wondering," you must change the tense of the original sentence because this expression is in the past. When you report a sentence that has a specific function, such as inviting, apologizing, making a request, etc., it's better to use a specific verb. For example, he said to him, "Stop shouting." This is an order. So when you report it, you say, he ordered him to stop shouting. And here you use the verb ordered. Another example. She said, "Why don't we write a letter?" This is a suggestion or a recommendation. So when you report it, you use verbs such as suggested or recommended. So the reported statement is gonna be, she suggested or recommended writing a letter. One more example. I said to her, would you like to dance? This is an invitation. So if you want to report this question, you should say, I invited her to dance, or I asked her if she would like to dance. But here the verb invited is stronger. Another one. She said to them, shall I drive you home? This is an offer. The reported one is, she offered to drive them home. She offered to drive them home. By the way, it could also be, she asked if she should drive them home. Last example. We said to him, sorry for the inconvenience. And this is an apology. When you report it, you say, we apologized to him for the inconvenience. So you use the verb apologize. And by the way, it could also be, we said to him that we were sorry for the inconvenience. But as you can see, this is very long. Now, let's do some exercises. Put the following questions or sentences with a specific function into indirect speech. I'll give you an example. He asked, has anyone seen Jim? This is the direct question. The answer is, he asked if anyone had seen Jim. Now it's your turn. 1. I asked James, how long do you have to wait? Yes, I asked James how long he had to wait. Number 2. Yes, she asked her husband if he was working the following or the next day. Number 3. He asked his boss, will I be getting a raise next year? And the answer is, he asked his boss if he would be getting a raise the following year. Number 4. The children asked, can we go home now? Good job, guys. And yes, the answer is, the children asked if they could go home then. Number 5. He asked, why is everyone laughing? Yes, he asked why everyone was laughing. Number 6. He said to me, why don't we take a break? And this is a suggestion. He suggested taking a break. Number 7. She said to them, would you like to join me for a walk? By the way, this is an invitation. Have you done this right, guys? The answer is, she invited them to join her for a walk. And this is better and more correct. Well, that's the end of our lesson. Hope you enjoyed our video. Don't forget to like the video and share it with your friends. Thanks for watching, guys. Love you. Bye.